All right, so I guess we're out there. All right. Hey guys, this is Bob from One Stop Mouse, and this is our very first StreamYard interview broadcast. And who should we have on but no less than our favorite YouTuber, who is Walt, with a great channel, a very engaging and fun channel. That is Mouse Talk. And here he is. Welcome, Walt.
Well, thanks, Bob. I appreciate you having me on. And it's an honor and a privilege that you would ask me to come on for your first, interview and live stream like this. This is awesome. This is great. And thanks for anybody in the chat who's coming into the chat. Welcome in. And if anybody's watching on the replay, thanks for watching the replay for sure.
Thanks so
I'm
much.
honored to be here.
Thank you. Well, when you're doing this for the first time and you're a little intimidated and you see the friendliest guy out there, then that's why you picked this guy. So that was easy to.
I appreciate it.
All right. Oh, so I'm wearing this goofy hat particularly because every time James Ryan out there sees my name, he says that I have the best hat on the internet. So this hat is for you, James Ryan. Okay.
James is a good guy. Is he? We've had dinner twice now.
Really?
Yes, he's been down, and we've gone out to dinner a couple times. We went to the boathouse together, and we went to homecoming. And he's a really, really fun guy for sure.
That's cool. I have a feeling I have to meet him.
Yeah, he's. Oh yeah, you got some people in the chat. There's Dean.
Oh, there you go. Well, I can't see. Let's see where I'm seeing. Where do I see what's on the chat? I'm so new.
So what I do, you got it? You see it?
Chat privately with you, I guess? No.
Well, no. Chat privately would be with me.
Right.
Usually you'll have it in up. You'll see comments.
Comments. There they are. There he is. James is an amazing guy. Very good. Hey out there to Alfred Pod. I don't know how to say that, so forgive me, Alfred. Alfred Podservinsky. And Karen Cook, hey, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Karen. I appreciate you stopping in. Thanks, Dean. Thanks, Alfred. We had a stream a little bit earlier today, and I made sure to shout out that we were going to be on tonight. So hopefully we'll have some people in. There's Brian. What's up, Brian?
Very good, very good. All right, so first of all, tell me how your channel started. Isbel, how are you, my friend? Isbel is a Disney cast member, a very good friend of mine. How are you? How did your channel start, Dean? Dean, sorry. How did your channel start, Walt?
Oh, that's okay. I knew what you meant. Dean's in the chat. You know what? It's a good question. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. No, 2015. In May of 2015, I sat down. I talked to my wife, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to do a YouTube channel. I really love Disney, and I want to be able to kind of do it a little bit, create with it. So in 2015, we created a channel, and we did very little with it. We were very inconsistent. We would do a video here, go a month and a half, do another video, go 2 months, maybe do another video. And the channel would grow a little bit here and there, but it didn't really take off until about 2 years ago. And take off, in our sense of taking off. About 2 years ago, I watched, of all people, Disney Dan on a live stream. He was doing his Disney Fiasco show. And I said to my wife, I'm like, we can do that. I think we can do that. I said, I think that'd be fun. So I reached out to Dean, Dreamers Empire, the live place, and I asked him, I said, hey, Dean, do you mind if Melissa and I, we want to do a show? And he said yes. And, from there, we started doing our live streams, and then we started to pick up momentum on our vlogs, and here we are now. So
that's great.
But it took a while. Inconsistency on our end kept us from growing sooner and quicker.
That's my thing. I started 2 years ago, but after the first year, I changed the name of the channel. So you lose all traction right there. I started out with a channel called WDW Epic Vacations. Unfortunately, everybody thought that it was a travel agency, which makes sense.
Sure.
And then I changed it to One Stop Mouse. But in between moving here and I don't know, like, life happens and very, very inconsistent. Even at this point, I'll put stuff out every day for 3 days and then I won't do anything for a month. And I see how hard you work, where you're putting stuff out there every day, all day long. And I can see what you have to do. So I know you must work really hard.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's just a matter of what I did was when we weren't being consistent, I took a step back and I said to myself, I had to make a decision. I was either going to do it or I wasn't going to do it because it was just that simple. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And we did. And we did everything we could. And it was harder when we lived in Maryland because when you're down here, you have so many more advantages because you can get to the park every day.
Yeah.
Maybe not right now, but you know what I mean. So you always have content. When I lived in Maryland, we didn't have that advantage. So we had to come up with things. But I made that commitment. And part of it was because since I went live and started meeting new people and making these connections, I've started meeting some absolutely wonderful people who are in the chat right now. I mean, you have a lot of people in the chat. This is awesome. Whether it's the Philly crew, Brian, Karen Cook, James Ryan, all of these people. I've met all of these people personally. I've sat down and had dinner with all of them except for Brian, who I will. It's been great, and it's given me motivation to keep doing.
That's great. Anybody who's watching us right now, if you would like to subscribe to One Stop Mouse, hit that like button. I would appreciate that very, very much. In my inconsistent way, trying to follow in Walt's footsteps. Now, I know when you decided to move here, was that like a big part of saying, I'm really committing to this?
Yes. It was kind of a threefold decision. First and foremost, it was job related.
Right.
My job is a very big company that's all over the United States, and they have offices everywhere. They had an office right down, they have several offices in Florida. And so I got a job promotion at an office very close to Disney. So that was step number one. And that was the biggest step. And then my wife's job allowed her to move down here and work remotely. It's a Maryland company, but she's working remotely from here. So that was big. Secondly is, yes, I wanted to make sure that I was close to Disney. Whether I was doing the YouTube thing or not, I wanted to be close to Disney because I love Disney.
Right.
And then last but not least, yes, now I had even more reason that I could really ramp it up when it comes to content.
I basically worked for a nonprofit in the North Georgia mountains, and it involved lots of very intense stuff. And I had to live on site in this remote mountain location. It involved search and rescue and counseling and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
And it was for like 6 years straight. And so I'm a Disney file, like everybody who's on here and yourself. So all of a sudden I stumbled on Resort TV 1, and I would put it on the big screen TV someone had donated in the background, and that was like my therapy, watching Josh and Jenna. And I made up my mind that I'm going to do that. I'm going to go down there, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do that. And
you did it.
Well, yeah, but I see that there. Any YouTuber knows this stuff. You know this. It didn't happen really quick. And you think that as a 58-year-old guy that I would know, things don't come really quick, right? So I stumbled, it came slower. I'm just feeling like I'm starting to get it now. And I think as Walt and I were talking just before we went live about how you have to be consistent. So I feel like I'm just starting to get it now. And anyway, Resort TV 1, should I check them out? Yeah.
He knows who they are.
So funny.
He is funny.
Well, they grew tremendously from the first time that I saw Resort TV 1 till now. The subscribers that they have. I remember I bumped into Josh and Jenna in the dark a couple of years ago, and they were just having their first after hours event,
Mhm.
and it was in front of It's a Small World, and Jenna gave me a card. And so they grew. They grew. Well, how many subscribers does Resort TV One have now?
They have like 110,000.
Yeah, some amazing amount.
Well, here's what I'll say about this. Here's part of their success from what I've seen.
Mhm.
First and foremost, they're very good at what they do. Their content
Right.
is very good. His streams are quality.
Yeah.
His very good quality streams. But they were also first.
Yeah.
They were the first real channel that I can think of that streamed live from the parks consistently. And when you're first and you're the only one doing it, you get a lot of subscribers. On top of the fact that they're good at it, now you know why they are where they are. It's a snowball effect for them. You know, first off, you're really good at what you do. You bring great content and great quality, and you're the first to do it. Here they come in droves. And that's why they've been able to do it. And they're good people. I've met them. They're really nice people as well. Their mom and dad are fantastic. And you know, there you go. I mean, that's where they are. And I think we've all followed their footsteps with the live streams. They've shown that it can be done, and it can be done well.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, I was also going to talk to when I got down here, especially. I got down. You said you got here in March of this year. I got here in May of last year. When I finally got down here and I was walking around the parks, the YouTube community, the Disney YouTube community, is amazing. They're so kind and friendly and supportive of each other. And I'm sorry, I don't want to embarrass you, but I was telling Walt right before we went on that it was like Christmas time of last year, and I was walking through Hollywood Studios down the street, and there's like nobody out there but my wife. And all of a sudden, he gets on to the live stream, starts chatting a little, starts twittering it out, and all of a sudden, a big supporter of Resort TV One and has a great channel of his own, Arjons and Donna Jaworski and Nick and a whole bunch of YouTubers were like all over me right there, just because this guy Walt put it out there. So yeah, very, very good feeling with these people down here. What's your first park experience you can remember, Walt? A Disney park experience.
Absolutely. I need 1 second. I got to let my dog out of this room.
Go.
Part of a live stream.
I have my two beagles right here, right down here, and one has a Thunder shirt on, and they're both laying there because I've had a couple of streams where the beagles start howling. And
hey, let me tell you, there's a lot of people in here that watch our streams. They know I've done this probably 25 times where I had to get up in the middle of a stream and let the dog out. So it's like apropos for my streams for sure.
Well, I had to tell my wife a second ago, remember I'm doing a stream, because a lot of times she'll come in and go, hey, could you?
Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. So your question, first memory of Disney. So my memory of this is a first memory. It's also what really got me hooked on Disney. It was the hook, line, and sinker. And Melissa knows the story I'm about to tell. My wife's in the chat as well, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
So we never went as children. I didn't go to Disney until 1998. I was 28 years old. It was the first time I ever went to Disney. And the only reason why I went is because at that time my parents paid for us all to go. My sisters went, my wife and I, my family, all of our families went. It was like 15 of us. So our first day there, second day there, we go to Magic Kingdom for the very first time. We had breakfast at at Cinderella's Royal Table at 8 a.m. So it was before the park opened. So we got to walk down Main Street before the park opened back in 1998. Now remember, this is over 20 years ago. This is before the parks really got where they are now. Nobody on Main Street, seeing the castle for the first time, smelling the smells coming out of the bakery. It was just an amazing feat. But the thing that was the hook, line, and sinker that same day was we were sitting inside Cinderella's Royal Table, and we were having breakfast, and we were meeting the princesses, and we were having a great time. And I looked over at my mom and dad, and they were crying. And I looked at them and I go, "What's wrong?" And they go, "Absolutely nothing." They said, "This is absolutely wonderful." It was great, and it's the first time they had ever gone too. My parents were in their 50s; they had never gone to Disney, and it was awesome. I'll never forget that. And that was the hook, line, and sinker. Yep. Yeah, it was cool.
I have two. I have one that I remember, but I actually have a weird story that is something I don't remember that I've only been told about. Now, I'm a little older. I'm 58, right? And I lived in New York in 1964. I was 2 years old.
The World's Fair.
1964 World's Fair.
Yes, awesome.
There was some 2-year-old boy, who was me, who was in a boat for It's a Small World. And supposedly, it's in some local paper from where I grew up too. I was so excited by all the little dolls and the girls and boys that I dove out of the boat and went through the water and climbed up on the banks and was trying to make friends with all the kids. And supposedly, that on that day, Walt Disney was actually there. And he thought that it was hysterical that the dolls in the ride were so engaging that some little infant was going crazy trying to be with all the hula dancers and everything. So that's what I don't remember.
Oh my gosh. That's a great story.
It is, but I don't remember it. I just hear about it.
That's awesome.
And the one I do remember, I was sort of a late bloomer in terms of, I was in my 20s as well, when I first was conscious of, going to a Disney park. And I was in the early 80s, I was going to the University of Miami. And my first experience was getting in a small car with a bunch of fraternity brothers jammed in and driving up to the opening of Epcot and seeing the parks then. And nice. I was amazed by the whole thing. I was impressed with Epcot. I was impressed with Magic Kingdom. I remember standing on Main Street. That was the thing that really just got me. Seeing the castle. But when I was a little boy, I used to look at the little Viewmaster slides of Disneyland. And they had a bunch of slides that showed it's a haunted mansion. And I used to always beg my dad, it was like, could we go here? Could we go here? But we lived in New York and he was a construction worker, a house painter. And we couldn't really afford to go and to travel and do that. Sure. So when it was actually finally in Haunted Mansion, it was like.
Yeah, it's true.
It really was. We were like Revenge of the Little Kid.
That's awesome.
So favorite ride. What's your favorite ride?
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion, is it?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, here's the thing about Haunted Mansion. It is the single most unique ride anywhere. I think it's unlike any other ride in any other park. There's no other ride in Busch Gardens, Six Flags, Universal. It's so unique in its own way. There's nothing like Haunted Mansion. I absolutely love it. I think it's ingenious of such a great ride. It starts out creepy and spooky, and then it becomes whimsical and fun at the end. It's such a great mix of both. It's my absolute favorite ride. Is it the best ride in Disney World? No, it's not the best ride, but it is my favorite ride.
Me too.
I absolutely love it. My favorite scene is the corridor where you see the floating candelabra. That's my favorite scene. In the whole ride, I could watch that scene 1,000 times. It's creepy, yet cool.
I always love the ballroom, and
that's Melissa's favorite.
They're done, and I know they have the behind the scenes tour that they're not doing right now, but they do once. I think it's part of Keys to the Kingdom tour. Mm-hmm. They have a little add-on where you get to see, and I know it's done with. I guess all the stuff's going on with the mannequins and it's kind of reflected onto glass. It's an old magician's trick, but I actually don't want to see the behind the scenes. I don't want to ruin the magic.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, and by the way, someone in the chat just told you, you hit 300 subs.
What? Are you serious?
You did.
Oh my God.
You hit 300.
Holy crud.
And Kelly from the Mickey Bunch is here too. Hi, Kelly. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Kelly. How are you? Hi, Faith Hope and Disney. Hi, Karen Cook. James Ryan. Uh-oh, the most magic gal in all of Disney has just come in.
He's talking about Kelly.
All right, so you guys, I agree, Bob. What? I agree, Bob. I don't want to see it either, Melissa Grover. So you guys let us know what your favorite rides are. I was looking at stuff on I hate to even go to it, the annual pass holders Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So he was saying that Flight of Passage was overrated. And I was like, are you serious? That's a wonderful ride. I actually think this is art imitating life, imitating art, right? I saw, when I first got on that thing, I saw a quadriplegic gentleman riding the ride next to me in tears. This is, of course, based on a movie where a quadriplegic guy becomes an avatar. Yeah. And it was so freeing to him that I still think that ride is super magical.
It is. First time I ever got off of Flight of Passage, I had tears in my eyes too. First time I ever rode it. That being said, first time I ever rode Rise of the Resistance, my mouth was on the floor. I think Rise of the Resistance is the best ride at Walt Disney World. For everything that it is, it's an unbelievable ride. I got off of that ride and I looked at my wife and I said, "What just happened?" I was like, "That was unbelievable." I would sit in there as we were riding it for the first time, and I'm like, "How did they do that? How did they do that? How did they do that?" And it's, Flight of Passage is a simulator. You sit there and it's great and all,
right?
But Rise of the Resistance is an experience.
Yes,
it's just it's a game changer.
The part on Rise, I did the same thing, but the part where I totally lost it and my mouth was hanging down, I had nothing to say, was that part that's 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Going in between those cannons.
The guns. That's my favorite part.
You're looking out, and I'm just like, yeah, I would totally.
That's my favorite part of the ride. It's my favorite part of the ride too. It's amazing. That part is just so awesome, and they did such a great job with it. These giant guns that go right in front of you, shooting out into the stars, and you see all the fighting going on out there. It's amazing, amazing ride.
Really.
Yep.
I haven't had a chance to ride that since before the parks closed. I actually, because of a fluke, I got there opening day for Rise of the Resistance. Mm-hmm. Even though a lot of people didn't get on it once, I got on it twice.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, because they shut it down. They had problems, and there was some kind of glitch in the system. And I'm like, how do I have a second boarding party? So I haven't been on it since. When did it open?
It opened in December of last year. We were there.
December 5th, right.
Yeah, we were there the next week. Yeah.
When's the last time you were on that?
I almost got on there today. I was at the park today. About a week ago. I've ridden it like 6 times now.
Wow. I got to go. I was at, what was I last? I was at, supposed to go to Epcot tomorrow, but I've been to Magic Kingdom and I've been to Animal Kingdom. And even though I was telling you, I've got a bunch of health conditions and I was a little bit shy to get out there, but I feel pretty, how do you feel about how they're doing social distancing and taking care of stuff? I felt pretty good. They were on top of people taking their masks off and everything. I felt pretty good.
Safest place in Florida.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm serious. I think that they've done a remarkable job. I think Universal's done a pretty good job. I don't think they've done as good as Disney has. I've been to both. Disney's done a remarkable job in doing it. I feel safer there than I do pretty much anywhere else when it comes to masks and everything else. Sometimes I think they're overdoing it, but that's just me. But yeah, I think I feel very safe there. They're doing a good job.
I was at the Polynesian and I was upstairs and I sat down and my wife and I had a tropical drink and they were sanitizing the chairs And we sat down there it was only like 15 minutes. And by the time we got up and were walking away, I could see them sanitizing them again. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree with you. I feel very, very safe. Wow.
Yep. It's where we are right now in the world. It's not going to stay like this forever.
No, it's not. And the parks were empty.
Yeah. And that's not going to stay like this forever.
No. Well, you know what I told my wife? It was so empty. I told her, I was like, it's a good thing that we live down here and we can take advantage of this, because once this is over, the parks are going to be jammed packed probably for 5 years until it's going to be not like this again.
Well, I always, from the minute the parks reopened, I had people argue with me. They said, the parks are going to be packed. The parks are going to be packed. The parks are going to be packed. And I'm like, they're not going to be packed. I said, first off, nobody from overseas can come over.
Right.
I said, secondly, most people are out of a job right now, and Disney is the last thing on their mind financially. I said, and thirdly, some people are scared to death to go back into the parks. So they're not going to be as crowded. And, of course, the obvious, Disney can control the crowd population, which is what they've done. And that's why, even when they said 30% can come into the parks, if you noticed early on, there was nobody in the parks. They weren't hitting the 30%. Now that it seems like the parks are crowded again, somebody said to me today in the stream, I live streamed from Hollywood Studios, they're like, oh, do you think they increased park capacity? And I said, no, I don't. I just think that they started out at maybe 10% of the people coming. Now they're actually getting the 30% coming in the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah. Interesting. I think it was weird. I was trying to get a sense. I felt like there were more locals there, and that makes sense because of air travel restrictions. Sure. And also, it makes sense if you're a local too. Like you and I live about a half an hour outside the park, so we can go. And we can go for as long as we feel safe, for as long as we feel comfortable, and then leave, whether we were YouTubers or not. Whereas I don't know that I used to live in North Georgia. I would drive down here 10 hours and then basically I would go straight to the Kona Cafe at the Polynesian, have macadamia nut pancakes, and start my marathon of Disney for several days. And I don't know if I lived out of state if I would do a marathon Disney right now, but I certainly would drive 30 minutes to do what I want. So very interesting. I've been wondering about that. What would I be doing if I still lived out of state?
Well, I tell people it's not the time to come down if you don't live down here.
Yeah.
It's really not, because you're not getting the full experience.
Yeah.
You're not. You're not.
Now, Ross Taylor is asking, and this is a big thing on a lot of people's minds. Right now, the big question is to renew annual passes or wait. And that's a big thing. A lot of people are calling into Disney and they're trying to figure out, is it worth it to cancel it right now or not? What do I get? There are a lot of people who have annual passes who don't even know what they're missing and what they're not missing because they have an annual pass for the first time. I guess as a local, I think an annual pass is worth the money. If I were out of state, I don't know how I would feel. How do you feel?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, I'm not sure that it is worth the money if I live local. I am a local now. And as an annual pass holder, it's extremely difficult for me to get into the parks. Saturdays and Sundays, you can forget it. You're not going to Hollywood Studios, period. When you look up the availability, it's booked through into November.
Yeah.
So Saturdays and Sundays, if you want to go to Hollywood Studios, you're not going to Hollywood Studios, period. No. You have to go during the week. And if you work, which I do Monday through Friday till 5 o'clock, and if the parks are closing at 6, I can't go to Hollywood Studios during the week unless I take a half a day or a day off. So Hollywood Studios is already off the table. Some of the other parks on the weekends are becoming more difficult to get into as well because the parks are so close so early during the week. People can only go on weekends that have jobs. So is it? I don't know that it is as easy for us locals to get in there right now. Because I'm really on top of it. I like to watch and really look. It's difficult to get in as an annual pass holder right now. It really, really is. And you can go in, you can see the availability when you try to book your passes. Hollywood Studios is almost non-existent unless you go during the week. Weekends are forget it. And Magic Kingdom's starting to become that way, and so is Animal Kingdom. Epcot's the only one that's really easy to get into, which kind of surprises me. But
yeah,
it's been difficult.
I'm about to go there just because I want to eat, really.
Sure.
But were you there recently?
Epcot? Oh yeah. Last weekend? I think last week. No, last weekend we were at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. So the weekend before, like I do 2 and then 2 and then 2.
Was it spaced out like Animal Kingdom? You know, it seems to be a lot of breathing room.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Although Epcot, the last time I was in Epcot 2 weeks ago was the busiest we've seen it yet.
Oh, was it?
Yes, but it was also a weekend. So, but during the week, man, if you can go during the week, that's the time to go.
I was at Animal Kingdom just a few days ago. It was like the end of the week last week, and security guard basically was talking to my wife and I, saying that he was so bored because there's so few people there. The greatest part of his job, he said, is talking to people, and there's no one to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well, it's true. I mean, it's absolutely true, though. I mean, ultimately, you know, I still don't even think they're hitting the 30%. In a lot of ways. And yeah, that's not a lot of people coming into those parks. Not when they're used to seeing 50,000, 60,000 every day. Yeah. And now they're lucky if they see 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Ryan says that Disney is the antidote to work. And I don't know if you caught what I said before, James, but Resort TV 1 was the antidote for my work, which basically ended up me talking to Walt right now. So, yeah, definitely. Melissa Grover, have you really tasted the macadamia nut pancakes? A lot of people have not tasted the Kona Cafes in the Polynesians macadamia nut pancakes with macadamia nut butter. Best thing ever. Everybody's heard of Tonga toast. Try the macadamia nut pancakes.
All right.
Let's see. What else? Weekends are getting busier. Yeah, they are getting busier. Well, I just wanted to, I'm glad that I got a chance to talk to you, Walt. I've never done this before. So I literally had 3 or 4 questions on my mind.
Sure.
Are there any issues or anything that are like top of your head that you're thinking about that you want to talk about or you've talked about lately? What is that behind you? That is some of the Fab Five in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
It is.
You know?
So that's not a copy. That is a real canvas that we had the artist paint for us.
Really?
Yes.
Who was this that did that?
I can't remember the guy's name.
That's amazing.
I can't remember his name. He. What you can do is, we got it at the Art of Disney.
Right.
And what you can do, you can go on there. They have us online. You can go in and you can pick the canvas that you want.
Right.
The type of frame that you want, the size that you want.
Right.
And all this, and then he'll draw it for you and send it to you. So like this is not a copy. This is real. This is a real canvas that was painted. I can't remember the artist's name off the top of my head, but it's when we got it, I was so scared. I thought I was going to drop it, and I said to Melissa, "Oh my God, I can't drop this thing." I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. It's my favorite piece of artwork. I have another nice piece in my office in the other room. That's Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman. That's also limited edition. The guy painted the canvas for me. He even marked it number 31 of 50. So
that's great.
Yeah,
I love that. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the art. I like the artwork. It's expensive, so I don't get too many pieces. But it's nice when you can get 20% off because you can. They do.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I've got a family member that works for Disney, so I take advantage of some discounts and get in once in a while. I was a platinum pass holder back when I lived in the North Georgia mountains, but I don't have an annual pass right now, and it's for the reasons that you said. I obviously would have gotten it a year ago. I basically would have hardly used it at all. My dad's one of the local retired people who has one of those weekday only passes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He wouldn't go into the park on a weekend anyway, and I guess they extended his annual pass expiration date by like 3 months.
Yep.
Because of that. So
yeah.
Anyway, I guess the deal is either you get it extended or you get a partial refund.
Mm-hmm.
So Walt, what's your next broadcast going to be? Is it tomorrow, a live stream?
No, not tomorrow. We will be going live from the park on the weekends again because I just had a half a day today, so I was like, you know what? Let's see if we can get a pass. And I was able to secure one for Hollywood Studios. So we went over there today, had a really nice time. Saturday we'll be at Epcot.
Cool.
For, Saturday morning for a morning stream at Epcot. Sunday, I think we're going to go to Universal Studios and go live and do a scavenger hunt, which should be a lot of fun. And then Monday we're going to end the Labor Day weekend with a stream from the Magic Kingdom. So.
It's very cool. Very cool. All right. Well,
it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. We've been a lot of people that you see in here are some new people that we've been meeting, and it's been just fantastic. I mean, we had 400 people watching us today, and we had 600. We had 600 people watching us on Sunday, and
that's great.
It's been going well. So we'll see.
Congratulations on the last time I had looked at how many subs you had. It was like 17 something, and then like I don't know, like 5 days ago or something, you were thanking everybody for 2,500, and I was like, wow, this guy's moving. So congratulations on that. That was really cool to see.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We hit 3,100 today. So
did you really? Jeez, that was in what, in like a week? From 25 to 31 in like a week.
It's been a lot. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, the live streams, I think we've been lucky. I think YouTube's been really recommending our live streams lately because, I mean, we picked up 80 subscribers today.
Wow.
Just from live stream. So
I think, I mean, I'm sure you agree, all the people that can't experience the parks because of the times we're living in, I think the live streams are more important than ever. You know, whether they're you or Josh and Jenna or Corey, people just want to live through that vicariously more than ever because they might not get to the park in 2 years and they might be used to going 4 times a year.
I agree.
So.
And for me, it's been. We were those people. I mean, we still are those people. I mean, when we lived in Maryland, that's what we did. We would watch Resort TV One or other folks that were going live from the parks because we missed it, and we wanted to see the parks. So we get it. So you know, this is kind of our way of giving back a little bit to take those folks into the parks, and we just try to have fun with it. You know, we try to. I don't like standing in lines a lot, and I know everybody in the stream says, "Well, if we were there with you, we'd have to stand in the line anyway." I don't want to stand in the line for them because now everyone is standing in the line.
I know. It's like I'm looking at the back of some guy's head, or I'm looking at myself and my wife, and it's just like I'm in the corridor going up to the Millennium Falcon. I'm like,
so we try to manipulate to walk around as best we can and find something that's got a small wait time. Look, we're going to have to do some waiting, but you know. We have fun with it, and that's all that matters. And there's 2 things I look for out of the streams. I wanted to try to be as best quality as I can give you, and I want you to have fun. You know, have a good time with the stream. Because I've actually been on live streams that even though they're live from the parks, I'm not having it. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do. And you know, this community's really, really got a lot of great people. We're very lucky in that we have a special community that I've seen other communities that you'll have your bad apples here and there. We don't, knock on wood, we don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a small channel. I've helped out on a few other channels, and in comparison to, I had a small business I was telling you about, and I know how bad trolls and everything can get, and these people are like, I don't know. I was actually overcome a few months ago that there was the people are just so nice. It's like, is this real? I'm not even in the park and the people are this nice. I want to thank everybody out there that's been so kind in the YouTube community to me. It's including yourself, Walt, since I got here. And I love the way that everyone supports each other, because I don't know. I couldn't see it in any other way. And, every moment can't be magical when you're talking about the realities of COVID and everything. But seriously, this is way more magical than just about anything else I know. I mean, when I go do chores or whatever, after I get off of this stream, I'll be back in the real world. But for the most part, doing this stuff with you right now, this is play. This is great.
It is, and that's what thank you, James. That was very nice. James Ryan made a nice comment.
And if the stars align and you have a rush of luck, you get to meet people like Walt and Melissa at Mouse Talk. Yeah. Okay.
Not really. But I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Walt. And for sure I'll be watching what you're doing. And thank you, everybody that subscribed to One Stop Mouse tonight. If anybody else wants to subscribe and give us a like, thank you very much. And I'm going to try to be more consistent like Walt. I see how much work he does. If you don't think that this guy works hard, just watch how much stuff he does every day.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And take care, Walt, and take care, everybody. And I'll see you soon, buddy. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And everybody in the chat, thank you all for being here. We know you have a choice of where you spend your time, and you spent it with us tonight. So we appreciate that very much. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.